Hey guys, how you doing? I'm Kent Tilley, and today I want to talk to you guys about why I believe a lot of people should take CPP at 70. And most of the time when I start talking about delaying CPP, there are a lot of reactions, and most people say, this is my money, I'm going to take it now. And I understand that thought process. But what I want to try and do is reframe how you think about CPP as your money and maybe why you don't want to take it now. And so there's a couple reasons why you would for sure take it now. And those two are, one, because you need the money. If you need the money, then take it as soon as you can get it, because that's what's going to help you survive. And two, the other reason why you would not delay it is because you know that you don't have a history of a potentially long life. So if you're going to, think in your mind that you're going to pass away in your early 80s or before, then I would take CPP earlier. But that doesn't mean that you should just take it as soon as humanly possible. There still might be some things to think about. But let's say that you don't need the money and you think that you're probably going to live a long, healthy life. Your lifestyle is good, your family history is good, whatever, all of the above. And so now let's talk about it and let's reframe this conversation. And when people say that to me, they say, it's my money, I want to take it now. Well, you might also have some investments or RSPs or whatever else, and that is also your money, but that doesn't mean that you're going to take it now if it doesn't make sense. So let's start to think about CPP as an actual RSP that you have that your employer helped fund with you. But it's a very safe RSP. It means that it's not going to go up or down in value. You know what it's going to pay you every single month, and it's going to increase with inflation. So now we've got that in our head and we say, okay, I can kind of understand this. Now let's look at what your RSP would be worth if it could do exactly what CPP does at different ages to certain life expectancies, and we'll look at the values and say, okay, well now that actually makes a little bit of sense. For this example, I have used 2.25 as the inflation rate. I know that's not fair right now, but that is what Financial Planning Canada says that we should use for our long-term projected inflation rate. So that's not true for the next year or two, but CPP payments do go up with inflation, which is a good thing, where your RSP payments won't go up with inflation unless your investments are also keeping up with them. So I've used 2.25 in this example, and I've used full CPP as this example. So full CPP today at 65 years old is $1,253.59 per month. So that will go up. If you take it at 65, you'll get that every month and increasing with inflation for as long as you live. If you take it at 60, there's going to be a 36% discount on what you're getting. You're going to get 36% less if you take it earlier. So it's 0.6 per month early that you take, which equates to 36% if you take it right at 60. So if you take it at 60, you're going to get $802.30 a month. And if you delay all the way to 70, then you're going to get a 42% increase. So it increases 0.7 per month until you reach 70, and then there's no point of not taking it at 70 for sure. You would never delay beyond 70. It's never going to get any higher. Okay, so now let's look and say, okay, if we started taking, let's say we had an RSP now that's going to pay us from 60 until 85, and then it's going to be worth zero. Okay? I hope you're with me on this. You have an RSP that you can pull out $802.30 a month from 60 to 85, indexed to inflation, that RSP would be worth $183,959. Now, if you look at that RSP value that can pay you $1,253.59 from 65 until 85, then that RSP at 65 years old is worth $242,095. So it's worth quite a bit more. That's like almost $60,000 more in your RSP at 65 than at 60. So that's a huge difference. Now we go to 70. This is now only paying for 15 years, but it's paying $1,780.10 a month indexed to inflation from 70 to 85, and that RSP would be worth $271,736. So even at age 85, this is a big difference, and this difference is going to grow even more the longer that you live. So now let's look at 90 with the exact same thing. You've got an RSP that's going to pay you $802.30 from 60 until 90. That RSP is going to be worth $209,891. From 65 until 90, $287,434. And 70 to 90, paying $1,780.10 is $343,776. And then we'll go forward to living till you're 95 years old. This is the last one I'm going to do. I hope I've kind of proven the point a little bit. So the CPP at 60, living until 95, that RSP would have to be worth $233,066 to pay you $802.30 per month. At 65 till 95, so 30 years of max CPP payments, taking it at 65, that RSP would be worth $327,954. And the 71 would be worth $408,157. So, now that you're thinking about it, you say, okay, well, that's a huge difference. Like, if you're living till 95, so the 60-year-old RSP is worth $233,000, and the 70-year-old's RSP is worth $408,000. So, that's a difference of what, 170, whatever, 75, I guess. $175,000 extra dollars that RSP would be worth. So, a lot of the times it could make a heck of a lot more sense to actually sort of fund those early years and allow CPP to be like the crutch that pays you a guaranteed income later in retirement, rather than taking it early and solely relying on your RSPs and other investments that do fluctuate, like this year where it's terrifying, where your investments are going up and down. At least you know that that's actually going to pay out and give you this very good lifetime income. So I just thought maybe if we could reframe how we think about this, maybe more than 2% of Canadians would actually delay taking CPP until 70. Because in a lot of cases, especially if you're going to live longer, I think that it makes an awful lot of sense. It's just that most financial planners aren't actually going to talk about this because, in our training or whatever we're talked to about, it's like, no, get them to take it as soon as possible, even if they don't need it, so that we can invest that and try and get more money, which isn't completely fair because, it's not going to get that good of an actual return on what it's doing in most cases. And most people just aren't generating those long-term returns because investors, generally speaking, don't do very well because they switch investments so often and change strategies and brokers and all of these other things because the market's always going like this. So just thought I'd try and frame it like that. Happy to hear your thoughts. Let me know what you think. And if you haven't already, please like and subscribe, and we'll chat with you again soon. Okay.